Hi guys, this is Deanna.
Hey classmates, I'm Brett, and welcome back
Welcome back.
to Hard
Welcome
Lessons.
back. Like the
To
Carter.
the deep.
Is it like, what is that?
Welcome back,
Back
Carter.
Carter.
It's such a classic.
It is. I got that going in my head now.
You're gonna be over there dancing?
No.
No? Okay. We hope everybody had a great Christmas,
Absolutely.
a happy New Year, and we're ready to get rocking and rolling back into the swing of things.
Yes.
I think
Well, we're going to attempt.
we're gonna attempt. Sorry, I'm not any more handsome. If you watch us on YouTube. But it is what it is, and I got to work with what I was given. So,
Well, you were looking at me like it was my turn to.
oh no, if you had something to add to it,
Oh, yeah. You get what you get.
you get what you get, and you don't complain a bit. No, you
No.
can complain if you want to. We won't
Because we
listen. but you
can't,
can
we
complain.
can't glamour shot. We can't use filters. We are real people. This is real stuff, and this is our podcast.
And to be honest, if this does make it to YouTube, it's going to be a miracle. So
You can do it. I have faith in you.
awesome.
All right.
So the more you know.
The less you need. I
Today's.
don't think I did that right.
You did perfect.
Okay.
Today's The More You Know is a law / foreign country.
So it's a law in
In
foreign
foreign
country? Okay.
In Israel.
Okay.
So there's the foreign country
There's
part.
a foreign, yeah.
So far I'm batting 1,000. It is illegal to bring black bears to the beach.
So apparently at one point in time, people were bringing a black bear to the beach.
I would, it's like how McDonald's has to put
Or
contents
all.
are hot on
Yeah.
their coffee cups.
Yeah, or anything that is hot. Everybody has to put the caution on there.
Yeah. So somebody had to.
Somebody had to have done it.
Can
Maybe
you
that bear ate somebody.
Well, could you imagine going to the beach, nice sunny day, and all of a sudden you're getting ripped apart by a grizzly? That was not me. I think one of the animals did something, but that was not me.
Oh, okay. Are you sure it wasn't your tumbly rumbly?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So so don't take my bear to Israel to the beach.
If you could get your bear to Israel, that would be an amazing sight.
That would be.
I would say, you know what, take that to the beach.
Like you put all that effort into this. Why not just take it?
Yes, ma'am. Can you think back all the way back to September when we first started this podcast?
No. Ah.
What was our very first
Are we starting?
episode? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't ring the bell.
Oh, see? Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Class is in session. We're having issues with our bell as well. I wonder if I could there we go.
Hey, we're in session.
Yeah, I need one to ring.
So you remember back
In
to September, our very first episode?
It's something about food.
Last Meals.
Last meals. Okay.
So I got to thinking, and since this is our first episode of season 2.
Ooh, season 2, episode
1.
1. Okay.
It'd be our 18th total episode, but it's our first one of season 2.
Okay.
So I got to thinking, should go with something along those lines.
Okay.
So today we're going to be talking about famous last words.
Famous last words.
And so basically, the last words of those that are going to be executed. Final statements.
I'm on top of the world, Ma! I don't know. That's creepy, man.
In all my research, I didn't find that one.
You didn't?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, well, not that I'm ever going to be in that position, but seems like it would be a good one.
Go out with the... And there's some in here that are hilarious.
Yeah. All right, let's
There's
get
some
to
in
it.
here that are going to make you think, but it's good.
Yeah.
Last words they are defined as part of a long practice in allowing the condemned a final chance to express themselves or ask forgiveness.
Well, it seems fair.
At least let them say one last thing.
Yeah.
Of those who gave final statements, 45% mentioned God, 52% apologized or asked for forgiveness, while 17% hinted or said that they were innocent.
Well, okay. It's a little late now.
Yeah, the judicial system would not put to death.
No, because you have like steps you have to take before you're actually executed, right?
Yeah,
They don't
you
just
got
take you
some
out the door and like
appeals.
boom,
Right.
appeals. Okay.
Right. So our first one, Jimmy Glass. He was executed in 1987 in Louisiana.
Okay.
In Christmas of 1982, 20-year-old Glass and fellow inmate Jimmy Wingo escaped from jail. They broke into the home and burglarized the home of an elderly couple, during which they shot and killed them. So this is why they ended up on death row.
On death row, right?
So Jimmy Glass's last words: "I'd rather be fishing."
That's fitting. Like, I would rather be fishing too than being put to death.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I don't fish.
his was the electric chair, so
Ouch. I cannot even imagine.
I would definitely rather be fishing.
My gosh. God, my heart rate went chung.
All right, second guy, Jeffrey David Matthews. He was executed in 2011 in Oklahoma.
I didn't even know they still had that.
Death penalty.
Okay.
There's only a few states that don't anymore. I'm going to have to look this up for later. I'll make myself a note. I believe there's some states where you get your choice of how you want to be, and I believe Oklahoma is one of them.
One of them? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I would like to know that. That would be nice.
I will look it up and
not
let the
nice.
class know for next week.
Knowledgeable.
Yeah, knowledge is
In case
power.
I plan anything. Not really. That is just terrible to even say. I don't want to be put to death.
Help me. So, Jeffrey David Matthews, executed 2011 in Oklahoma. He was indicted for the 1994 murder of his great uncle, Otis Short. He robbed his uncle's home with an accomplice. The accomplice was not named in the articles that I read.
Yeah, it's
It was about Matthews. Matthews shot his uncle in the head and slit his aunt's throat, but she survived.
I just don't even understand.
How people could be so cruel.
Yeah.
He had his execution postponed 3 times.
Ugh.
Twice by the governor because of claims of innocence, and then once due to the controversy with the drugs that they were administering to Matthews.
Okay. So I take it was going to be lethal injection? Mm-hmm. That's the way to do it.
That's just go to sleep.
Yeah. Like,
His last words were, "I think that the governor's phone is broke. He hasn't called yet." Because he had,
right. I mean, you're kind of like, okay,
yeah, any second now.
I'd be having issues.
So we're going to hop in our time machine.
Go way back.
Not way back, but we're going to go back.
Okay.
And visit our first female of the night,
Ooh.
Barbara Graham, executed in 1955 in California.
Whoa.
She had a rough childhood, had a string of bad marriages, which led to prostitution and drug usage. She married a bartender who was also a drug addict and soon left him for a man named Emmett Perkins. She, along with Emmett, decided to rob a widow that was rumored to have a large stash of cash in her house. Stash of cash. Gained access to her home by asking to use the phone. Once in,
Yeah.
they started their burglarizing. The widow lady started screaming, and to shut her up, Miss Graham bludgeoned her with the butt of her gun,
Well,
which obviously resulted in the death of the widow.
Yeah.
And also, unfortunately, like the widow tried to explain to them, there was no money found. She didn't have a large stash of cash. That was just a rumor. She was arrested 2 months later after somebody squealed on her.
Good for them.
Absolutely.
But it took them 2 months.
Took them 2 months.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll rat you out in a heartbeat. Sorry.
Do not let Deanna know of Crime Spree.
Yeah, I'm like, I will rat you out and not feel an ounce of guilt.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
You agree,
I
right?
love about
Please
you.
rat
Absolutely.
me out.
Absolutely. So, Barbara's last words. Mm-hmm. Good people are always so sure that they are right.
Okay. So she was a good person?
No.
She was talking about other
everybody
people.
else. Y'all are always just so sure y'all are right.
Oh, okay. Well, you're in there and we're out here, so
Exactly.
we kind of are.
Now we're going to go back even further
Ooh, okay.
into the time machine.
Okay.
Talk about Mr. George Apple.
George Apple.
1928 was his execution year.
That's quite a bit.
New York City.
New York.
New York State.
New York State. Okay.
His last words quickly spread through the media, and he's more famous for his last words than his actual crime. Very little is known about his crime other than he was convicted for killing a police officer.
Well, there's the crime.
How he did it, what led to it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Right.
But,
So, what was his famous quote? Or, this is one of the ones that's funny.
You're quoting him.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, you're about to see a baked apple going into the gas chamber.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine that either because you have to, like, breathe.
Exactly.
So should you, like, try to hold your breath? But you can't because then you're just going to breathe. Your brain is going to say, breathe, breathe, breathe. But then you don't want to breathe because then you're going to die. And then should you just, like, okay, I'm going to accept my fate and just start breathing anyway? Like, deep breathing that stuff in.
I've never really thought as much into it as you apparently have.
Oh, well, I watched a show once where this lady was put to death in the gas chamber and she was trying to hold her breath. And
It didn't work out.
Well, no, because your brain is like, breathe. And you're like, yeah. So.
I think it would feel a whole lot like drowning, because you're trying to hold your breath and then.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking, except it's going to burn.
Don't you think all that water would burn too?
Probably. That's probably why I don't swim underwater.
Well, that and Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Jason's not going to reach up and grab your leg.
Not even in a pool. Or if you could have like a pool, it's deep on one end, like lights that shine up so you can see
I bet you could.
the floor of it so it's not dark and creepy.
We need to go see that new movie, Not Swim.
Okay, well, let's
We've
move
gotten
on.
off topic.
Yeah, sorry.
About to see a baked apple.
Yes.
So
Which is somewhat funny.
It is kind of funny.
It smell like it, but
Could you imagine?
no. Okay, let's move on.
There's going to be another one in a little bit. This next one, we're going to come to the great state of Texas.
Ooh.
And the execution year was 2007. So we're back to the nearer future, closer to our time. Mr. James Lewis Jackson is the defendant. He was on death row for murdering his wife and 2 stepdaughters. And that's all that's really known of that. It's not a widely known case.
Okay.
His last words, Mr. Warden, murder me. I'm ready to roll. Time to get this party started.
Yeah.
So,
He's talking about our kid.
she's trying to sneak in and steal our publicity. Or, not publicity. She was biting you.
Yeah, steal our thunder.
Steal our that's what.
She was really playing. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Now we're going on to Robert Charles Towery.
That's a mouthful.
Words are
Robert
hard.
Charles Towery.
Towery.
Like a tower?
With a Y on the end. Towery.
Sure it's not just pronounced tower?
Why would the Y be there?
I don't know. Why do we have a PH sound and it sounds like an F?
Words.
I'm just saying.
Anyway.
Okay, Tower E.
Robert.
You say Tower E.
Tower E.
There you go. Tower E.
He was executed in 2012.
Okay, so we're back up to 12. Okay.
In the great state of Arizona.
Arizona.
He was convicted for the 1991 robbery and murder of somebody.
Did you forget to write down who or what?
I did. Oh.
Is this a bad one?
He injected battery acid into his victim before strangling him.
Oh, was he like into experiments or something? Because that would
I wonder
have to be
if-
an experiment.
I wonder if he read about Jeffrey Dahmer and how he was trying to make his
create
living
own
zombie.
Mm.
Although he was arrested in 91 and this happened in 91, so I don't think it would have made it to the books by then.
Probably not, but maybe he heard about it.
Maybe so.
Maybe he was just trying to replicate his hero or whatever.
Okay, so I didn't write down the guy's name, but he was a philanthropist, the victim.
The victim, okay.
Was a philanthropist who had loaned Tower E money and had used him several times in the past as a mechanic.
Okay.
Tower E's final words, "I love my family. Potato, potato, potato." That seems odd.
It seems very odd.
But I read on, and he had a young nephew who was scared, and so on his final visit, his uncle said, what's something that I can say that's going to let you know that I'm going to be okay? And the young nephew didn't say how old he was. The young nephew said potato, so he repeated it 3 times. Potato, potato, potato.
Now that, I mean, it's terrible for the reason why it was there, but
He loved his family, loved his nephew, didn't want him to worry about him.
yeah.
So now we're going to go back in the time machine again.
You should have, this is just a thought, maybe you should have really set it up as a timeline. And then
But
you
this
could
makes it
go-
more fun.
It does, but my brain is jumping around this timeline and I'm going to get lost. Okay, where are we going now?
We are going to discuss George Engel, Engel.
Okay.
We're going to Illinois, 1887.
Okay. So, like when you mention a year, my brain changes my clothes.
So you're dressed in the 1880s?
Yes.
I need to learn how
To visualize that?
to edit it to where it changes. That
Oh,
won't ever happen.
I think it's going to take more technology than our little Chromebook here.
I'm very proud of that little Chromebook. That was
Me too.
one of the best Christmas gifts I ever got.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What did
This 1887 do? Yeah.
he was a German immigrant who had lost faith in the political process.
Well,
He hosted a rally. Our rally was a rally by Antichrist and labor activists turned violent. That he was
he was involved in this
Yes.
rally, and it turned violent.
a bomb was thrown at police officers, killing 7 of them.
Yikes!
Nobody knew who threw it, and Engel was reportedly in the middle of a card game at the time. However, he was convicted and hung for it.
That's a wrongful conviction, but so he was a foreigner, he was automatically assumed guilty.
Assume, allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, he died for it.
His last words:
Yeah.
"Hooray for anarchy. This is the happiest moment of my life."
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't either.
we have somebody that's wanting out.
He should have spoke up sooner.
Yeah, I don't think it works like
So
that.
I'm going to talk for a minute while Teach leaves the room. Parent-teacher conference. I don't know if this will ever make it to YouTube, but we're trying. And hopefully one day it will. And Teach is back.
How about I just had a brilliant idea. You use this video as your guinea pig to figure out how to submit or edit or anything.
And so this week, just do the audio part of the podcast, and then
If you would like, or just
I like it.
or just publish it.
Girl, you are smarter than smart.
No,
All right.
I'm really not.
So we talked about Mr. George.
Yes, which that upsets me. I would have been, yeah. I'm not mad yet, but that just upsets me greatly.
Now, talk about the first of the known big name serial killers.
Okay, so we should recognize these names
With this one,
for sure.
that's a female, Eileen Wuornos.
Very much so, yes.
She was executed 2002 in the great state of Florida.
I was going to say Florida.
Floridia. There was a great movie that we've never seen, so I'm just saying it's great by what other people
Right.
called
right.
Monster, I believe.
Yes, I've seen bits of it.
With Charlize Theron.
Yes. Yes. Okay, get out the gutter.
Okay, so troubled childhood for Eileen is an understatement.
As an understatement, yes.
About 12 years old, she was involved with both prostitution and drugs. About 12 years old. Late teens, she returned to prostitution. And starting in 1989, she went on a killing spree. All total, she killed 7 men. At first, she claimed self-defense, and then changed her mind and said, no, I killed him.
Yeah. Like, okay, so did you kill him after you got your money? Because I'm really thinking so.
She was sentenced to death by lethal injection.
That's the way to go, man.
Her final words? Yes, I would just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back. Like Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th, like the movie. Big mothership and all. I'll be back. I'll be back.
I don't even understand what that meant.
I don't know.
What is July 6th?
I say July 6th?
Yes.
June 6th is what I wrote down.
June 6th. Maybe you did say June, and I was like, I don't understand the correlation. Or is she talking about
allow
Rock?
cats at school.
Is she talking about The Rock?
Well, in 2002, he wasn't that popular yet. So I don't...
Okay.
I'm thinking that she's calling Jesus the Rock and that she's going to come back with Jesus on the mothership.
Oh!
Is what I'm thinking.
Okay. That makes more sense. I didn't know it was a mothership, but
Yeah. Who
hope
knows?
I don't get air sick. Hold up, Jesus! I need my Dramamine.
Now, you may know this guy.
Okay.
Very-
Not personally, right?
Not personally.
Okay, because I'm freaked out.
Very local to us.
Okay.
So we're going back to Texas.
Okay, Texas.
Johnny Frank Garrett.
Okay.
Don't recognize the name.
I recognize the name Garrett, but after you give me some details, I will probably oh yeah.
All right. He was executed in 1992.
Okay.
Indicted for the rape and murder of a nun in 1981.
Okay.
Does any of it sound familiar?
No.
That's good because I'm going to be doing an episode on him, so don't be looking him up.
Okay.
Don't look him up.
You probably shouldn't have said that. People are gonna look him up now. Anyway, continue.
All right. His execution was a controversial one. He was mentally handicapped and only 17 when indicted. Sentenced.
Okay.
One mental health expert described him as having one of the most, and I'm going to say he meant violent, or maybe this means violent, had one of the most virulent, virulent histories of abuse and neglect that I have encountered in all of my 28 years of practice.
Okay.
Johnny Frank was possibly innocent, A crime happened later in Amarillo. This happened in Amarillo. That's why I was like, may have heard of it before. Possibly innocent. A crime happened similar about 6 months later that led back to a detained Cuban refugee. So back in the early 80s.
Yeah, don't give too much because I want to hear this. So
yeah,
you better bring your A game on that one.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that back in the early 80s, I don't know what all was going. I mean, I was a kid. I wasn't keeping up with it, but, Cuba, Castro, there was a bunch of Cuban refugees in Amarillo.
Okay.
And all, so.
Okay, well, we'll be intently waiting for this one.
Absolutely.
Probably gonna go ballistic about it, but that's okay.
Possibly. Johnny Frank's last words. I'd like to thank my family for loving me and taking care of me, and the rest of the world can kiss my ass.
It's kind of,
factual.
Yeah, I just I need to know his IQ.
Right. That's the teacher coming out in you.
Yeah, I want to know his IQ. What tests did they give him?
Well, I mean, it was the 80s, so I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, surely they had something.
They would have had to have.
Okay.
Okay, because, Anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
1975 started this whole
That's
thing.
right. That's right. It did, didn't it? Yeah. You just recently learned that this last semester, Miss 4.0.
Well, no. I mean, I've known it. It just
reinforced.
So, I mean, yeah, it was in its infancy, but that's wrong. That's why there's laws in place to protect people.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
I'm going to Google it, by the way.
No,
not him.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get your seatbelt on and take your Dramamine because we're going to jump back into the time machine. Ready?
Okay.
So next one we're going to talk about is James French.
Okay.
He was executed in 1966 in Oklahoma.
1966.
He murdered a driver who picked him up while he was hitchhiking in 1958, serving a life sentence for that crime. He was given a life sentence.
Okay.
He didn't want to live any longer, but was afraid to kill himself. So what's the next logical thing to do?
You kill somebody else to get killed?
He murdered his cellmate and then was given the death sentence.
Oh. Still wrong on a lot of counts. You don't kill people.
His final words?
Mm-hmm.
And this is another one that I was telling you is kind of humorous. How about this for a headline in tomorrow's paper? French fries. He was going to the electric chair. Hopefully it wasn't like on the Green Mile when that one guy, sadistic guy, didn't put the water on his head.
Yeah, just to see. And that stuff happened.
It has to have. Had to have.
And then who was the guinea pigs for those things?
I don't know,
we didn't use water on this one, so let's use liquid on this next one.
Do you know who invented the electric chair?
No.
I don't know the guy's name, but he was a dentist.
Okay.
Could you imagine going to his practice?
No, that would be like going to Sweeney Todd to get a shave and then eating.
Yeah. End up being a big bowl of soup. They could live off me for a while. Do you know that?
Off one person?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, I'm a big guy.
Oh.
All right. Next.
Yeah.
Going back in the Wayback Machine again.
Okay.
Grover Cleveland Redding.
Okay.
Wonder if he's related to Kevin.
I don't know.
We'll have to ask him tomorrow.
What state is it in?
He was executed in 1921
Okay.
in Illinois.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, he's from Indiana, so.
Well, yeah. I mean,
could be.
Hey, you never know.
Grover wasn't all there. And I'm not saying he's like a Johnny Frank. But he claimed to be the prince of a country called Abyssinia. Abyssinia.
I'm going to say Abyssinia.
Abyssinia.
Yeah.
And he was trying to bring the people of his race back to their homeland.
Well, what race was he?
He started a riot and shot and killed 2 people.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he was not, especially if he was like white.
Yeah.
Whiter than paper white.
The article I read didn't say anything about his race. So
I mean, that would be something curious. Like, okay, what race are you?
Exactly. His last words?
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing to say at this time. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Get your tarot cards out and...
or maybe he thought this was not really happening.
Maybe so.
Or maybe he believed in reincarnation.
Maybe Kevin is him.
I don't think so.
You never know.
Okay.
You ready to go back even further?
Okay.
Wallace Wilkerson, OWW.
WW.
He was executed in 1879 in the great state of Utah. We've been there.
Yep. A little piece of it, but yeah.
Salt Lake City.
That's a little piece of it.
That is a little piece of it. He was executed for murdering a man that he had a dispute in a card game with.
Okay.
He refused to be blindfolded. So he was in the firing squad. He faced the firing squad.
Okay.
Refused to be blindfolded. And he is, I would say, one of the most unusual cases of being executed because he gave 2 final statements.
Okay.
The first one, I give you my word, I intend to die like a man, looking my executioner in the eye.
Okay. Was there just one person shooting?
No, they had 3.
Okay.
However, all the bullets missed his vital organs.
Oh, gosh. Like, how does that happen? They had some bad shots.
They had some bad shots.
Although 1879...
Maybe they didn't know where the vital organs were.
No, they should have known because this is after the Civil War, so they do some bad shots.
There's some bad shots. So, with that happening, OWW exclaimed, "Oh my God! Oh my God, they missed me!" He struggled to breathe for the next 15 to 27 minutes, depending on who you talk to. And reporter for the Ogden Junction newspaper had a line in his article the next day, "The French guillotine never fails."
Well, really? Why didn't they just go ahead and shoot him instead of letting him just lay there and
laid
suffer?
out for either 15 minutes or 27 minutes. Just depends on who you talk to.
And if those men were the ones that were like, okay, you're in this group, y'all need to practice because how do y'all miss?
Maybe that's why. Well, no, they don't do firing squads now. Maybe that's why the guys from the prison twice a year come out to the firing range and have qualifications, but they don't do executions
I'm pretty
at
sure
our
those
prison.
guns versus the ones we have. How could you miss?
You got a
with
point.
ours?
You
I'm just like, what?
got a point.
Yeah, well.
All right, so we've got a few more left,
Okay.
and we're going to go into some of the more known.
Okay.
Okay, so Robert Alton Harris. Ever hear of him?
Nope.
Okay, maybe he's not as well known. 1992 was when he was executed in California. Harris and his brother Daniel abducted 2 teen boys from a fast food restaurant, forced the boys to drive them to an isolated area where Harris and his brother shot and killed the teens. They then stole the teens' car, and used it as getaway in a bank robbery. And this one, at first I was like, man, this guy, if he wasn't so evil, could have been a poet or something. You can be a king or a street sweeper, but everyone dances with the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, but
was
doesn't
his
matter.
final words.
That's pretty good.
It was. And I got to thinking, I've heard that before. Is that in a song? So I Googled it. It's a line from one of my favorite movies of all time, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. When at the end, where they're battling their evil selves
Yes.
to see who the Grim Reaper gets, and so the Grim Reaper says that.
Yeah, in the end, everybody.
You're-
Although I don't know that I'm going to meet the Grim Reaper. That just sounds very terrifying, and I don't want to think about that.
Very terrifying. Okay. So, William Bonin, 1996 was his execution date. Yeah, also in California. Have you ever heard of William Bonin?
No.
Have you ever heard of him by his serial killer name, the Freeway Killer? Need more information? He was dubbed Freeway Killer because many of his victims were found dumped in Southern California roadways.
Oh, okay. So along the freeway.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
He was convicted for the murder and rape of 14 boys and young men, but suspected of many more.
Whoa.
He was a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh.
But his final statement also kind of, and that I'm not going to go into a lot of him because I may do him on an episode one time. But his final words also kind of make you think. I would suggest that when a person has a thought of doing anything serious against the law, that before they did that, they would go out to a quiet place and think about it seriously.
Oh, so he's giving advice. Maybe you shouldn't really break the law.
Yeah,
like that.
see where it gets you? You're always going to get caught.
Yep. He got careless.
He did. Probably the most famous serial killer of all time, Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Theodore Robert Bundy.
Executed in 1989 in the crazy state of Florida. If we got any listeners in Florida, we actually really love y'all. Y'all just seem to have some messed up situations.
And we don't.
No, not in Texas. We're perfect. Bundy was convicted for the murder of 2 Florida State University students. That their murder happened in January of 1978, and also 3 weeks after that, the murder of a 12-year-old girl, his youngest victim.
Yeah.
There's an unknown number of victims, all total. He escaped jail in Colorado twice, where he was waiting court because he had murdered a nurse there in 1975. He confessed to 30 homicides across 7 states between 1974 and 1978.
Okay, yeah. He's just wrong from the get-go.
Yes, ma'am. His final statement, I'd like you to give my love to my family and friends.
Okay. Well, he was married, wasn't he? Didn't he get married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I'm thinking of the
Gacy.
doctor. No, I'm thinking of the doctor. Yeah. I'll have to think about it.
Okay. So
McDonald. Convicted of killing his wife, unborn child, and 2 daughters
Chris
at Fort Bragg.
Watts.
No, at
Oh,
Fort Bragg.
okay. Yes, ma'am. I can't think of his name either, but
Doctor, I think it was McDonald. I could be wrong, and I apologize. Sorry.
the killer clown, John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. This makes my stomach turn.
He was executed in 1994 in Illinois, or Illinois. I don't know which one it is. I think it's Illinois. I think the S is silent.
Could be.
I don't
Like that Y?
I like the Y. Fun fact, what day was his execution?
The day that Dahmer was baptized. I don't know.
It's somebody that we're related to's birthday.
Okay.
May 10th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Of course, everybody knows John Wayne Gacy. As a matter of fact, if I remember right, we talked about him in the last Meals episode.
Yes.
He was convicted for murdering 33 teen boys and young men between 1972 and 1978, most of which he buried under his house, a total of 26 of them, and then the rest was dumped in the Des Plaines River.
Were those the ones dumped in the river? Were those the first ones?
They were he had no more room under his house.
He didn't have any more room. And I am sorry, but if we started dating and your house smelled like a skunk's butt,
we're not dating for long.
We ain't dating for long, because I'll just be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, can you not smell that? And then, of course, if you said no, I'd be like, I ain't living in this house.
Well, I had COVID, so, messed up my smeller.
No, and he just gives the creepy vibes.
Yes, ma'am. His final words when he was asked if he had anything to say, kiss my ass.
Pretty blank.
I mean,
just be like, no.
Why beat around the bush,
I would just have to say, can we just do this? Because.
All right. And so our final guy, Timothy McVeigh, executed in 2001 in Indiana. Not going to spend a lot of time on this guy. He murdered 168 people in Oklahoma City bombings on April 19th, 1995.
I remember seeing that on TV.
I remember I worked at the carpet store, and I was in the office figuring up a bill for a customer. And we had a radio that was mounted into the wall. Mm-hmm. And I remember they broke on the news, like breaking news, and just like, what? That is so close. It's like 3.5 hours from here to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I mean, it was just insane anyway.
Insane. I don't know if this is true. I'm going to have to, I need to double check this, so I'm not even going to say it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to give him credit to begin with.
Right.
But
or any of them, really.
Yeah, but I also don't want to give false information to the classmates. So I'm not going to say.
Jeffrey McDonald.
That's who it was.
Yes, I knew it would come to me.
Yeah, Dr. Jeffrey McDonald. Anyway.
Random.
So his quote, he quoted the last line of a poem by William Ernest Henley. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that loser. Although, and I don't wish evil on a lot of folks, but this guy, I hope he has diarrhea every day, but also on top of that, he has constipation, so he can't relieve himself of the diarrhea he constantly has.
So what makes him any different than all these other people?
This is more recent and closer to home, and nothing really. I just going on.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't get too involved in a discussion about your statements, because I have different thoughts and ideas. But thank you for sharing that. That is how you feel, and you are absolutely okay to have your thoughts and opinions.
Absolutely. Bibliography.
All right.
FoxNews.com. Death row inmates' last words. It gets right to the point, doesn't it?
Yeah, like boom.
Article in People.com. The last words of infamous American killers. Press.uchicago.edu, so I'm guessing the University of Chicago. Last words of the executed. And an article on police1.com. 15 infamous last words from criminals on death row. Now, I obviously didn't get all 15 of them, but I did
Right,
pick
you
some
picked
from
the
there.
ones that were interesting.
Absolutely. And I think it was the police one is where I got some of the older ones. I think and one of those I did, obviously.
Okay,
So,
that's okay.
all right, Teach. So, what's my score?
Well,
Excuse me.
I'm gonna have to give you an A on this one
Sweet.
because that was a lot of information that you looked up, and
It was so cool.
yes, now, not really gonna go into that conversation, but okay.
Okay. So, for those that are watching,
A.
I got it.
Gosh, look at all that.
A lot of
A
work.
lot of notes, exactly.
For those that are watching us on YouTube, if this ever makes it to YouTube, if you've listened to us before, you know that
I'm going to do the claw.
Teach does drawing each week, and there's papers in here, and so whatever she draws out is the subject that I report on for the following week. But she just doesn't know from what subject it is.
Like, are you even moving them?
Yes. So, Teach is going to reach in, and
Oh, I didn't do my claw.
next week I'll be doing a
Paranormal.
paranormal story.
Ooh. Make me a believer.
I'm going to do my best. Maybe I'll revisit the Dybbuk box.
No, I do.
Nope. One Dybbuk box story is enough?
Anybody can make any object evil.
Sure.
So I just don't particularly like that part of it.
I hear you.
So I'm like, yikes.
All right, classmates. Well,
Alrighty.
it's good to be back, and we will see you next week.
Absolutely. Bye. Class is dismissed.
Bye.